Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, here we have Newgrounds. Now, you might be wondering what the hell I'm doing on this billion-year-old site. What I'm doing here is I am going to maybe start my first series. I was thinking of, I'm kind of an old guy. I've been on the internet for so long. I've been on the internet for almost 2 decades. And a big part of my childhood, I suppose, is Flash games. And seeing as, after 2020, Adobe Flash is not going to be a thing anymore, which I'm very sad about, I wanted to pay some respect to the Flash game culture, I suppose. It's kind of dead now, which is completely understandable because now we have tools that are so much better, miles better, to make, video games, that Adobe Flash is kind of ridiculously outdated, which apparently is kind of the reason why they want to discontinue Adobe Flash Player. I don't agree with it, because it honestly it's not a service that takes too much to keep running. It's really not that bad. And absolutely the worst part about it is that there are so many Flash games that are just gonna disappear. You won't be able to play them anymore unless people figure out a way to still make them work without Adobe Flash. A lot of Flash games of old are just gonna disappear. So for that, I wanted to pay my respects to these games. And I wanted to make this a little series where we're going to explore the old sites and old Flash games that I've played, mainly when I was a kid. Obviously, I don't play them as much anymore. There are still a few games here that we're gonna look at that I kind of still revisit from time to time, but I usually don't go out of my way to search new, like I did before back in the day. I used to do this. I used to search new Flash games that people would be making, because back in the day I didn't have my own consoles. I didn't have my own PC. I had my uncle's PC, but I didn't have my own consoles. And in that PC, I obviously couldn't install whatever I wanted. So Flash games were a perfect alternative. So I have quite a bit of history when it comes to Flash games. And I wanted to share that history with the world, or at least try my best to. And I think that a fitting start would be this. So Newgrounds, if you don't know what Newgrounds is, then you might not be that old, let's just say. But Newgrounds, a lot of people think that Newgrounds is kind of the birthplace of Flash games. I don't think so. I think that Newgrounds is just a very popular site. I don't think that it popularized Flash games. It's definitely the most famous site with Flash games and Flash animations. And it is also most definitely the best site. That I can definitely say. So I wanted to explore this decently old site. It was from 2012. It's decently old. I honestly thought it was a little bit older. And I wanted to kind of visit what I have in here. Here I have a few games. I actually don't have a lot of favorite games. I have a lot of games in here. We'll get to that. But in here, I kind of wanted to start with this, my favorite games. A little bit of a disclaimer, I actually already recorded all of this. I am re-recording all of this stuff, because I kind of recorded it with a really bad ratio. So, unfortunately, my kind of first-time reactions to some of these games, I won't be able to pull them off anymore, which is kind of a shame. But regardless, we're gonna try and make this at least a little bit entertaining. So we're gonna start with this. So this is a tower defense game, and it's kind of a little bit different. If you've played any tower defense games,
Box10.com. Only great games.
Yeah, I can't argue. So, if you've played a few older tower defense games, you kind of remember the older tower defense games. They had like a path that the enemies had to clear, and then you had to set towers in between the routes. Here, you just have one tower. And first of all, the music's pretty fucking good. Now, literally all you do is you actually are the one that gets to shoot. You actually control instead of it being automated. You're the one that actually... Now this isn't level 1, because again, I've already played a little bit of this. You actually get to control this stuff. And you get to pick up power-ups and stuff. And I also really like the sound design of this game. Especially this. You couldn't hear it, but especially that last weapon that I had. It sounds really fucking good. I mean, honestly, this is all there is to it. Superpower? Let's do the superpower. There we go. That's really all it is. Then you get to this screen, which you already saw. It's a power-up screen. You'll see a pattern with all of these fucking games. So many of these games have power-up systems. It was such a prevalent thing, because it's such an easy tool that you can use to establish progress. Because obviously you want to have progress in these games. And as a kid, honestly, nowadays, doing this over and over again, doing this shit over and over and over again, even with new items and even with new power-ups and even with weapons, it's a little bit dull. But, back in the day, if you were a kid and you didn't really have anything else better to do, this would be a pretty fucking good pastime, and that's kind of what I want to explore in this video series. I'm not sure. I'm only going to play a few more games because I wanted to make this sort of an introduction. We're not going to play all of these this episode video, but we're going to play one more game, and it's this one. This one is one of my favorites, honestly. It's called Axon, and it kind of is supposed to simulate a brain. You know how your brain kind of connects cells and stuff? This is what it's supposed to emulate. It's quite loud, so one thing that you might already notice is the sound effects. This game has a pretty cool aesthetic, it has a pretty cool thing, but the coolest thing about this is that it actually tries to teach you about brains. Like, you have these things that you can read. Unfortunately, unfortunately if you click here, this page has been lost to time. It's a 404. It has been lost to time. But it's still a great game. So basically, you just click on these cells. Shit. And you're supposed to make your, I don't know what this is called. This thing that we're creating. I don't think it's definitely called... These are called cells. No, actually, these I think are called proteins. But yeah, and this guy kind of blocks the proteins that you want to connect to. And if you run out of proteins to connect to, then you lose. I don't need to show you right now, because I assure you that I'm going to lose at some point. Because at the beginning, this game isn't too hard, but the more you advance, this game can get pretty decently hard. This was also a theme in so many Flash games, having like a scoreboard. Like so many Flash games had scoreboards. And what I find interesting is that a lot of these games were actually the games that kind of pioneered all those mobile games. I remember that when I went to high school, me and my friends used to play a lot of these high score. There we go. A lot of these high score mobile games, and we kind of used to compete with each other. Dude, I'm pretty good at this, not gonna lie. Shit, fuck, no, wait! Ah, God! I'm pretty good at this, dude. I already played a little bit of this. But I'm pretty fucking good. Shit, okay. And we kind of used to, compete with each other, and these games, which is extremely interesting, these games are... No! There you go. Actually, the farther you go, the faster that circle thing shrinks. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do for today. We're gonna check these other games out a little bit later in another video. But that's it. I kind of wanted to make this like a little bit of an introduction. This might be interesting, this might be not. I don't know. There's quite a lot of Flash games that we could visit, and a lot of Flash sites that we could visit. For the meantime, we're going to stick to Newgrounds. With that said, I think that I'm going to leave this now. This video has been quite a little bit long. So we're going to continue this next time, alright? So I'll see you then.